So you need a block, you need a belt, because we're gonna do some movements where we're doing these sort of things. So you might need a strap or a belt that you can get hold of behind your back. And then we're gonna need at least a couple of pillows, because the last pose that we're doing is gonna be opening the chest, that supported fish pose, where we're gonna put stuff in between our back and sort of arch the back up, okay? So try to get this stuff as we're getting ready. And then a couple of minutes and I'll start, okay? So I think this is gonna work out, because basically I tried it out because it was still coming up, this chakra one. So hopefully we've got a whole hour, because I'm finding the 40 minutes I'm rushing through the whole thing, yeah? So I think I've tried it out yesterday and it allowed me to do 1 hour. So hopefully we'll do that, okay? Couple of minutes and I'm coming up, okay? Just let me get a glass of water. Okay, so let me start with the element. First of all, so what we're gonna do now is the fire element, which is the heart and the small intestine today, okay? And I'm trying to do videos where I'm describing each element in Chinese medicine. So if you go on my YouTube channel on In2 Health, you'll find that before every class there's gonna be a description of that element, yeah? That gives you a bit more of an idea of what I'm talking about when we're doing that meridian. So in terms of the channels that we're gonna do today, the heart and the small intestine are connected together. The heart starts from the armpit and goes on the inside of the arm all the way into the wrist, and then it goes into the little finger, okay? And then the small intestine channel starts from the finger on the outside. So the heart channel starts on the outside, it finishes on the outside, and the small intestine starts from the inside of the little finger, and then it runs in here, runs into the wrist, and then it runs basically just underneath that bone, reaches the elbow, comes on the back, goes zigzagging into the scapula, then comes on the front, neck, in front of your cheek and into the ear, okay? And so basically what we're gonna do today in terms of exercises is we're doing a lot of chest opening, and we're also looking at opening the arms. And when you're doing the poses today, either you're connecting the thumb with the little finger as you're opening out the arms. If we're doing the warrior 2 today, instead of having the arms like that, we're gonna connect that channel, and as we're turning the palms up, we're really stretching that channel, okay? So I'm just gonna show you here before we do the class. And then also the better thing is that you're pointing the little finger into the palm of the hand that presses into a heart, a point. However, it's not as comfortable as having the thumb and the little finger together, okay? So see what works for you. So if you're coming up in a standing position, first we're gonna do the warming up, okay? So we're coming with the feet hip width apart. We're having the knees nice and relaxed, so we're not locking the knees. And we're gonna start just loosening up the joints, but when we get to the arms, we're gonna focus on the arms, okay? So you're looking down towards the floor, looking up towards the ceiling, looking straight ahead, look towards the right, look towards the left. Now this is the part where you're stretching the upper part of the small intestine channel. So you're trying to touch the ear towards the shoulder. We're gonna stay here for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Relax the opposite shoulder. Come back to the center, and then one ear towards the other shoulder without lifting the shoulder. Relaxing both shoulders. 2, 3, and 4. Come back to the center. Point the chin towards the right shoulder. Drop the chin and make semicircles until you're reaching the left shoulder. And then you're coming back to the right shoulder. Now slow it down. Whenever you get into a point that you're feeling quite painful, just stay there, roll the shoulders back, just let the head drop a little bit more so you're feeling that stretch, and then continue until you find another spot. You do the same until you reach the left shoulder, and you're coming back into the right shoulder. Nice and slow movements. Again, relaxing into any positions that feels a little bit crunchy, and then come back into the center. Now start making circles with the shoulders. So you're coming up with the shoulders and then drop them back, up with the shoulders and back. So you're bringing the shoulders forward, up to the ears and back. One more, and then you're gonna do it the opposite direction. So up, forward. So from the back, you're bringing them forward and trying to bring them as close as you can towards the ear. And now you're starting to make circles with the right arm. So you're bringing the arm up and back. Start with small circles and then go bigger and bigger. And the other way around. And change arms. So first you're finding it forward and back, and the opposite direction. Okay, now this one is going to stretch the back of your scapula. So drop the right shoulder, support the elbow with the other hand, and bring the arm across the chest, dropping the right shoulder. So you should feel the stretch into the shoulder joint and the scapula. And then drop it to the other arm, support the elbow with the opposite hand, bring it across, drop the shoulder, and come back to the center. Hands on the hips and start making circles. Smaller and small to start with, and then you get bigger and bigger until you're feeling that you're stretching pretty much the lower back and some of the hips. Don't lock your knees. And now change direction. So start with small circles, get bigger and bigger. And then bend forward, hands on the inside of the knees, start rubbing the inside of the knees, the front of the knees, the sides of the knees and the back. And then stretch the right toes, hands on the hips, standing up, and then start making circles so you're loosening up that sort of ankle, and then turn the direction and opposite side. So stretch the left toes first, and then making circles one direction and the other. Okay, and now coming to a comfortable position. This is the Qigong exercise, okay? So place your hands on the lower abdomen. Just keep your eyes open for a second until I demonstrate it. On the next inhale, you're bringing your hands in front of your chest. On the exhale, you're either pinching with the little finger, the thumb, or you're pressing that little finger on the palm with the palms facing up towards the ceiling, really stretching the arms out. So you should feel that stretch on the inside of your arms. And then on the next inhale, bring your hands back into the chest. Bringing them back into the abdomen. We're gonna do 3 more, okay? Inhale, hands on the chest. Exhale, bring the hands out, pinching the thumb with the finger, palms up, stretching the arms out, rolling the shoulders back. And then on the next inhale, come back with the hands in front of your chest, bringing the hands down into the abdomen. One more. Inhale, bring your hands in front of your chest, fingers interlocked, and then pushing the hands, arms away. And exhale, bring the hands back to the center and bringing them back into the abdomen. Start working with the breath. So you're placing one hand on the lower abdomen, one on the chest. Close your eyes. Inhaling to the count of 5 through the nose. Exhaling to the count of 5. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then very gently open your eyes, come to the top of the mat. We're going to do a couple of exercises standing. You might need a block for this, so just grab the block. You're placing the block in between the feet, okay? Start with the feet hip width apart, hands on the hips. On the next inhale, you're stepping the right foot 2/3 of the mat. Turning the toes into the top right corner of the mat. Hands on the hips, keeping that right leg straight. On the next inhale, you're bending the front leg and you're placing your hands either on the inside of the right foot on the block or directly on the mat. Now we want to focus into opening that chest and opening that arms. So you're bringing your right arm up towards the ceiling. I'm not so worried about the legs, okay? And then you're really pressing with the left knee into the left arm so you can open the chest to the sides and you're either looking straight ahead or towards the right. If you want, you can pinch the little finger with the thumb, palms facing away from you, feeling that stretch on the inside of the arm. Inhaling to the count of 5. Don't collapse too much onto the left arm. You still want to maintain a sort of upright position, just using the core muscle. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor, coming up. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you're stepping to the front of the mat. Feet hip width apart. We're going to do it on the opposite side. The block is in between the legs. Stepping with the left foot 2/3 of the mat, pointing the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. Again, focus on the chest, focus on the arms. Bend the right leg on the inhale, and then you're placing your right hand either on the block or directly on the mat. Now connect the right knee with the right arm, and then pushing and resisting with the arm, you're turning the torso towards your left. So you already can feel that this arm is activated by just turning and pushing. And then place your left arm up towards the ceiling. Again, connecting the thumb with the little finger, squeezing the shoulder blade back. So you're pressing the shoulder blade towards the spine, either looking straight ahead or towards your left hand. Inhaling to the count of 5. Still create a little bit of space between the body and the leg, so you're not collapsing onto the right arm. You're still able to keep upright, squeezing the shoulder blade towards the spine. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you're stepping to the front of the mat. Turn the block, you're changing position, into the outside of your left foot. We're going to do reverse triangle, okay? So this time the legs are straight. You can also bring the block up so that you don't have to sink down too much. This time you're having your feet together. On the next inhale, you're stepping halfway down the mat, so not as big a stance as you had before. This time the legs are straight and you're squaring the hips towards the front. So if you need to step your right foot out a little bit, do so. Square the hips towards you so the left hip is in line with the right. You're not facing forward with your left side, you're square to the front. Okay, so now with the right arm on the inhale, we're placing the right hand on the block on the outside of the left foot, okay? And then now we're trying to turn the torso towards your right. As you're doing this, you can really feel the underarm activated. And then if you're struggling with this position, just stay with your left hand onto the hip. Otherwise, you can bring your left hand up towards the ceiling. You can connect the little finger with the thumb. You can look straight ahead, or you can look towards your left hand. Again, on the inhale, you're lengthening your torso. On the exhale, you're turning the torso towards your left. Feeling the chest opening, feeling that inside of the arm stretching. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Make sure the legs are straight, you're pulling the kneecaps up. One last breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, looking down towards the floor. Exhale, hands on the hips, come all the way up. And inhale, you step into the front of the mat. Place the block on the outside of the left foot, of the right foot, sorry. Hands on the hips. On the next inhale, you're stepping with the left foot halfway down the mat. Square the hips. And you're having both legs straight, pulling the kneecaps up on the inhale. You're leaning forward slightly. And then you're placing your left hand on the block on the outside of the right foot. Now, keeping the hips where they are, you're turning the torso towards your right. You can feel as you're turning the torso, you're feeling that stretch on the inside of the left arm. Now, if you're finding that already challenging, stay with your right hand on the hip, looking straight ahead. Otherwise, you can bring your right arm up towards the ceiling, pinching the little finger with the thumb. And then try to have the arms aligned, so there's one line between the left hand and the right hand, and the chest is in the middle, opening towards the right. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Feel the stretch on the chest and on the inside of the arms, making sure you're still keeping your legs nice and long, pulling the kneecaps up. Last long breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, hands on the hips, come all the way up, and you'll step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. You don't need the block for the next 2 moves, so you can keep it on the side. And we're gonna do warrior 2 now. So feet together, you're stepping with the right foot a long distance away, so quite a long stance along the mat, and your right foot is facing the edge of the mat with the toes pointing towards the edge of the mat. Okay, so now pay attention onto the right foot, placing the weight onto the edge of the feet, so you're lifting the inside of the arch, and then keeping that right leg turned towards the right. You're bending the front leg, still wanting to see the big toe. So make sure that these legs are stable now. You're sitting in between the legs, but we're focusing on the upper part, okay? On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Roll the shoulders away from you, and now you're pinching the little finger with the thumb, and then you're turning them up. You're looking towards your left hand. On the next inhale, turn the hands facing down. On the exhale, turn the palms up. So you're rotating the hand, looking down on the inhale, looking up on the exhale. Can you feel the activation on the inside of the arm? Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Still wanting to see the big toe, so you don't want to bring that left knee in. Inhaling, bringing the palms down. Exhale, bringing the palms up. Really feeling that stretch all the way on to the armpit. One long last breath here. Inhaling with the palms facing down. Exhale with the palms facing up. And then on the next inhale, hands on the hips, straighten the front leg. Take a short step, and then you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're gonna do it on the other side. Feet together, hands on the hips. You're stepping with the left foot, quite a long stance. The left foot is pointing towards the side of the mat, and the edge of the foot is parallel with the back of the mat. And then place the weight onto the edge of the foot, lifting the inside of the arch. And then on the next inhale, bend the front leg, still wanting to see the big toe, sitting in between the legs. And then on the next inhale, hands parallel to the floor, looking towards the right hand, pinching the thumb and the little finger. Roll the shoulders away from you, squeeze the shoulder blades together. On the next inhale, you're pointing the hands down. On the exhale, you're pointing the palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring your hands down towards the floor. Exhale, palms up towards the ceiling. 2 more. Inhale, turning the hands, palms facing down. And exhale, palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale, palms down. And exhale, palms up. Give yourself one long last stretch, really feeling the stretch on the shoulders. And then on the next inhale, hands on the hips, short step, and then you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, now we're starting with the feet hip width apart. And we're stepping into a lunge. So we're stepping onto the tiptoes of the right foot, keeping the feet hip width apart. So you're stepping with the right foot and you're staying on the tiptoes of the right foot. The right heel is off the floor. You're keeping that right leg as straight as you can by pushing that heel away from you, and you're bending the front leg, but not too much bent, okay? Now on the next inhale, turn the torso towards your left and bring your hands parallel to the floor. So this time, you're just keeping the hands with the palms facing up, and you can really feel that the scapula is getting activated, okay? So we're working more onto the small intestine channel, which is at the back. Turn the chest towards your left, and you're looking towards the center, or you can look towards your left hand. As long as you're feeling the stretch on the inside of your arms and onto the left scapula. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then come back into the center on the inhale, hands on the hips. And exhale, you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a bit of a shake. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. Hands on the hips are hip width apart. And you're stepping with your left foot into a lunge. Tiptoes of the left toes, keeping your left leg straight by pushing the heel away, slightly bending the front leg. And then sitting between the two legs, turn the torso towards your right, bring your hands parallel to the floor, pinch the finger and the thumb, and turn the palms up. So as you're squeezing the shoulder blade towards the spine on the right, you're really feeling the scapula activated. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Suck the belly in as well, so you're keeping your core engaged. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And last one, inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center, hands on the hips, and you'll step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're coming into the hands and knees. Now, we're gonna stay in this position for maybe 5 minutes. So if you need a pillow underneath your knees for the next couple of poses, just do so. You're placing your knees onto the floor. You're coming into your hands and knees. Knees are directly underneath the hips. Hands are directly underneath the shoulder. So we're doing thread the needle, and obviously we're gonna feel the stretch onto the back of the shoulder at this point, okay? So on the next inhale, you're feeding the left hand underneath the right arm, and you're placing the left shoulder, the left side of the head down onto the floor. And now you really want to bring your right arm up towards the ceiling. So you're activating the back channel, so the small intestine channel, onto the left arm, but you're also activating the front or the inside of the arm onto the right arm. Inhaling to the count of 5. If you're finding this too difficult, bring your right arm down and just relax into this pose, okay? We're gonna stay here for at least a couple of minutes, just because we want to start affecting the fascia and the acupuncture channel, okay? So start coming into a nice and rhythmic breath, and whichever position you can hold for the next minute, just stay in this position. You can close your eyes if you want to. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Always focusing onto the 2 channels that I've showed you at the beginning of the class. So you're really feeling the stretch and the activation onto that area. One breath, one long last breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, you're starting to bring your right hand back onto the mat, coming back into the 4s on your exhale. And now we're going to do it on the opposite side. So you're feeding your right arm underneath the left arm, bending the left elbow to the sides, placing your right shoulder onto the floor, right side of the head onto the floor. So you automatically feel the stretch onto the scapula and onto the back of your upper back. If you want to have a bit more of a stretch, then you're bringing the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then you're feeling the stretch also onto the left side. That also gives a bit more of a stretch onto your right arm. But if you're finding that this is too much to hold it for the next couple of minutes, then bring your left arm down onto the floor and just start relaxing into this posture. So you're allowing the opening up of the channels into your right arm. If your left arm is up towards the ceiling, then you're just trying to squeeze the shoulder blades towards the spine. So you're feeling a bit of a twist. And then on the next inhale, start bringing your left hand down onto the floor. And then your right arm onto the floor. Come into child pose for a second. You're sitting on your heels. You're placing your forearm down onto the floor. And then you're coming up a little bit, so you're sitting on your heels to start with. You're placing the top of your head as close as you can in front of your knees, and your arms go across the body. And then at this point, you start pushing the bum up towards the ceiling, rolling onto the top of your head, so you're really feeling the opening up of your upper back. Tuck the chin under so you're not overextending the neck. Pushing the hips up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. You can place your hands wherever they're comfortable, on the leg or on the calf. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5. And exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, sit back on the heels, and you're coming back into the child pose, where you're pressing the forehead down onto the floor. The knees are together, and you're really resting the body onto the thighs, forehead onto the floor. Arms forward. Stretching the front of the shoulders, really making sure you're sitting down on your heels. And then very gently come back into walking your hands towards the body until you're sitting on your heels, and you're shifting the bum either side of the feet so that you can bring your legs forward. So point the toes up towards the ceiling, remove the flesh away from your buttock. Have that belt next to you so you can use it for that exercise of bringing the arms behind your back. And then, first of all, we're going to hug the right knee towards the chest, bringing the right foot on the outside of the left leg. You're pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. You're placing your right arm behind you and the left arm up towards the ceiling. So we're trying to open up the space in between the shoulder blades, okay? On the next inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, you're either hugging the knee to the chest, or you're bringing your left elbow on the outside of the right knee, turning towards your right, and looking towards your right hand. So you really want to focus onto the area in between the shoulder blades. On the inhale, you're lengthening the spine. On the exhale, you're turning towards your right. We're going to stay here for at least a minute, trying to really allow that part of the shoulders to open up. So connect with the breath and start having nice and long breaths as you're basically turning the torso towards your right. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, come back to the center. Now you're trying to just bring your knee over the leg, okay? So you're just bringing that left foot, that right foot, just a little bit closer to your bum. You can put a pillow underneath that knee so that it sort of gives you a little bit more of a balance. And then grab hold of that belt with your right hand, and you're placing that belt behind your back, okay? Now with your left arm, you're bringing it behind your back and you're grabbing hold of the belt. Now you're hugging that right upper arm towards your right head, the right side of the head, and you're trying to bring those hands together, feeling the stretch this time, all the way into the armpit, and also this time is more onto the upper arms and into the scapulas, okay? So try to hug the right arm towards the head. Don't push your chest forward, don't push the belly forward. And if you want, you can fold forward here if you want, trying to bring the chin over the right knee, but you don't necessarily have to do so. Just feel the stretch, as I said, is on the back of the left shoulder and into the front of your upper arm all the way down into the armpit, making sure you're still pointing the toes up towards the ceiling of the left foot, tucking the chin under slightly. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And then very gently release the hands or release the belt. Get rid of the pillow if you were using it. Hug the right knee towards the chest and release it. We're gonna do it on the other side. So you're hugging the left knee towards the chest, crossing that left foot over the right leg, pointing the right toes up towards the ceiling. And then you're bringing your left arm behind you, right arm up towards the ceiling. Now you want to suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. Keeping that length in the spine, you're now either hugging the knee towards the chest. Make sure that you're in a comfortable position so you can stay here for the next 2 or 3 minutes, okay? So inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Now start refining the technique of the posture. So start with the right leg, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. Slight bend into the left elbow so you're not bringing that left shoulder up. Sucking the belly in, lengthening the spine, almost as if somebody is pulling you from the top of your head. And then on the exhale, you're turning the torso towards your left, feeling that nice stretch into the upper part of the back, looking slightly towards your left shoulder, chin parallel to the floor. Lengthen the breath here. Really focus onto the space in between the shoulder blades, and with each breath, you're allowing it to open up. You're allowing the muscle to relax, and you're allowing the fascia to start stretching, so you're basically activating those channels. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. 1 more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Now, if you found that bringing that right foot towards the glute was difficult and uncomfortable, keep the leg where it is, okay? And this time you're grabbing hold of the belt with the left hand. If you found that that was okay, then you're bringing that left foot as close as you can towards the right glute, and then with your belt, you're grabbing hold of it and you're placing it behind your back. Now start with the left arm, so you're hugging the left upper arm towards the left ear, and then you're bringing that right arm behind you, grabbing hold of the belt if you can, or grabbing hold of the hands. Hugging the left upper arm to the ear, and then really trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together, sucking the belly in, feeling that stretch onto your right back of the shoulder, so in the scapula of the right shoulder, and on the sort of under part of your left upper arm all the way down into your armpit. You're also feeling on the front of the right shoulder. So inhaling to the count of 5, and instead of tensing up here, just start to relax. Relax the muscles and allow them to sort of stretch a little bit by just breathing into that area. 3 more breaths here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Last one. Suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. And then just release the arms. Hug the left knee towards the chest and release it. Now shake the legs a little bit. Bring your body into the middle of the mat. Place your hands in front of the knees and just roll yourself onto your back, hugging the knees to the chest, chin to chest, and really sort of hugging the knees to the chest so you're releasing the front of the hips. And now what you're going to do, you're going to cross the right knee on top of the left. So the right leg is over the left leg, the knees are bent, and you're opening the arms out towards the side. And then on the next inhale, you're starting to bring that right knee down towards the left side, keeping both arms onto the floor, looking towards your right hand. And again, if you want, you can pinch the little finger with the thumb. Try to make sure that you're keeping both shoulders on the mat. Feeling that stretch into the chest. And all the right side of the body. Again, we're going to stay here for a minute or two. So really refine the technique. Make sure both shoulders are on the floor. You're looking towards your right hand. You're feeling the stretch onto the right side of the body, all the way down onto the glute, or especially in between the shoulder blades. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, start bringing the head back to the center. Hug the knees to the chest, and then you bring in the knees back to the center. Swap the legs over. So this time the left knee is over the right, left leg over the right leg. Bring the arms out with the palms facing up. The left hand is now pinching the left finger, the little finger with the thumb, and then you bring in the legs over onto the right side, looking towards your left hand, keeping both shoulders on the floor. And then really trying to relax into this pose, using your breath to sort of, wherever you're feeling tension into this posture, instead of sort of seizing up and tensing up, you're aligned with the breath to just go through that pain and try to bring circulation through the breath into that area. And then you notice that if you're staying here for a little bit longer, that pain either does disappear or it just moves. So inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. one more breath here. And then on the next inhale, first the head comes back to the center, hugging the knees towards the chest. You're bringing your legs onto the center. Unlock the legs and just hug the knees to the chest. And then you start rolling back and forward until you're coming up into a seated position. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna basically create a little space for opening up the space in between the chest, okay? So you can get a pillow and sort of double it over or roll it over as you're placing it in between the shoulder blades. So it has to be in the space in between the two shoulder blades. So you're sort of bringing the chest up, and it should be so that it covers your head as well. So your head is not, your neck is not overextending, okay? It's just into the mat, into the pillow, and then you can also straighten the legs so that we're coming into a shavasana or corpse pose, but we're just opening the chest slightly, okay? So find a couple of pillows if you want to, making sure that you're feeling that the chest is slightly open, okay? So doubling it upright if you want to, rolling it, and then placing it all the way from your lower back, but it still supports your head. And then bringing the arms out to the sides. And then the feet are as wide as the mat. You're flopping the feet to the sides. We're gonna stay here for about 10 minutes doing some meditation, okay? So you should find that it is relatively comfortable and that you're feeling that your chest is opening up towards the ceiling, okay? Now, once you're in this position, I'm gonna come up and do the meditation cross-legged onto the floor. So start relaxing the feet, relax your ankles, relax your calves, relax your shins, relax your knee joints, relax the back of the thighs, relax the front of the thighs, relax your hips, and then coming all the way across from the hips into the buttocks, relaxing the buttocks, coming into the center of the buttocks, and then from there you're coming under and over your reproductive organs, relaxing the pelvic area. Relax your lower abdomen, and relax your upper abdomen, so the space between the belly button and the rib cage. Coming up into the rib cage, relaxing the chest bone, relaxing your breasts, and relaxing the clavicles and the upper part of the chest. Coming over into the top of your shoulders, and then starting to relax either side of the spine, from the top of the shoulders, the space in between the shoulder blades, relaxing the shoulder blades, relaxing the middle of your back, and relaxing your lower back. Coming into the waist, you're starting traveling up from the waist all the way up into the armpit, relaxing the sides of the body, relaxing your armpits, relaxing your shoulder joint from the armpits, the front of the shoulder, the top of the shoulder, and the back of the shoulder. Relaxing your upper arms, relaxing your elbows, relaxing your forearms, relaxing your wrists, and relaxing your hands. Coming back to the top of the shoulders, relaxing the back of the neck and the front of the neck. Relax your chin, relax your lower jaw, your mouth, your upper lip. Relax your nose, relax your cheeks, your eye sockets, your temples, the forehead, relaxing the scalp and the whole of the skull, and relaxing your ears. And now I want you to start focusing onto the two channels that we worked in today. So you're basically focusing your attention from the armpit all the way on the inside of the arms, all the way into the little finger. And then basically the inside of the arm on the back of the arm goes all the way into the scapula and into the side of the neck. So really focus your full attention in there. Now when you're breathing in, you're initiating the sort of flow of the energy from the armpit, traveling down the inside of the arm into the little finger. And when you're breathing out from the little finger, it comes just on the inside of the arm, into the back of your shoulder, into the side of the neck, and into the ears. So just focus the next couple of breaths as you're breathing in from the armpit. You're going down the inside of the arm, the inside of the elbow, into the little finger. And as you're breathing out from the little finger, you're coming into the back of the arm, from the elbow, into the scapula, and into the ears. And just as you're focusing your attention there, it's almost as if you're feeling that there is becoming lighter and lighter, but also that you've got this white, warm light sort of really washing through these two channels and the inside of the arms, bringing energy and blood flow and warmth into these two channels. Opening that chest, so you're still focusing onto the heart. And with the position that you've got, you're just opening that chest, opening the heart up. And then very gently start bringing your attention back to the rest of the body. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then sigh out through your mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your toes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your fingers. And then when you're ready, just bring your arms over your head, feet together, stretch yourself, and then hop one knee at a time towards your chest. Roll yourself onto your right side. Stay here for a breath or two, and then with your left arm pressing down onto the floor, just come back up into a cross-legged position onto the floor. And then bring your hands in front of your chest, close your eyes, and just thank yourself for giving yourself time to practice today. Namaste, thank you very much.